There is so much misconception about what sleep training actually is. In a world where cry it out means that you are leaving your child in their crib until morning, you have to understand that this is only one sleep training option that many, if not most, sleep consultants like myself don't even use. I'm gonna run through 4 different types of sleep training methods and teach you about all of the possibilities when it comes to sleep training your child. It is seriously time to change the narrative around sleep training and change the reputation, because sleep is life. Strategy number 1 is a parent present hands-on solution. This means that the parent stays in the room the entire time the child is falling asleep, and they are actually assisting them to sleep. Gradually over time, they remove the amount of assistance they're giving their child, but it is a very gradual, hands-on, slow process where your child is very likely not crying at all or only crying a very little bit. Strategy number 2 is parent present but hands off. This is something I like to reserve for my toddler clients, because oftentimes toddlers just want to know that their parent is near, and they're having a lot of separation anxiety around 2.5 years old, and they do understand that even though their parent leaves the room, that they're off doing something more exciting than sleeping. Even though, let's be real, what is more exciting than sleeping? I don't know. This can look as simple as getting your child all tucked into bed and then sitting beside their bed very quietly until they fall asleep. They don't need any physical help or physical reassurance or rubbing their back or holding their hand or rocking them or whatever it may be. They don't need that. They just want to know that you're there, and then they will fall asleep peacefully and sleep well through the night. Number 3 is one of the more common sleep training strategies, and this is where the parent is leaving and checking at set intervals. This is where the Ferber method comes in. This is where quick check methods come in. This is a very quick and effective strategy. It is not as drastic as cry it out, but it is giving your child the ability to self-soothe without the parent present in the room. This is generally good for babies who might be between 6 and 12 months old, especially around that 8-month mark when your child develops object permanence and they have a lot of that separation anxiety that we talked about with toddlers. But this is different than toddlers because you can't talk to them and reason with them. They tend to get more upset if you're sitting in the room with them and not putting them to sleep in their previously desired form of falling asleep, which could be rocking to sleep, nursing to sleep, whatever it might be. But if that's causing your child to wake up several times a night and you have to do that over and over again, then is it really benefiting anyone? No. So that's when we jump to these leave and check strategies where you're leaving the room for any set interval of time, whether it's 3 minutes or whether it's 13 minutes. You are leaving the room and letting your child figure out their own self-soothing strategies. I love being on in-home consultations where we are watching the child on the monitor in real time, and I am showing them, do you see how your baby's rubbing their head side to side? Do you see how they're kicking their legs? Do you see how they're, like, I had one little kid doing, what are they called? Snow angels in the crib. Not literally, but that's what it looked like. And it looked like they were just like waving their arms up and down, and that was their self-soothing because they liked the texture of the crib on their arm. They did that for a couple nights until they fell asleep, and it was a very quick and easy process. Yes, there is more crying involved in a leave and check method, and yes, it is quicker and you will see results faster with this strategy as well. And then that brings us to evil sleep training number 4 is cry it out. Cry it out is fully defined as leaving the room after the bedtime routine and not returning until morning. Your baby is full on crying it out until they fall asleep. Does your child learn very quickly how to self-soothe? Yes. Is it necessary for them to get to that point of hysterical crying and exhaustion? I don't think so. This is the most aggressive and like your last line of defense when it comes to sleep training. Is this necessary sometimes? Unfortunately, yes. If you have a child who is too stimulated by your presence in the room and they absolutely won't fall asleep because they just want to keep talking or babbling or playing or trying to get your attention, or if you have a child who gets more upset when you go in and do a quick check, this might be a little bit more of an appropriate method for your child. It's not desirable, but it is effective and it is a short-term discomfort for a long-term gain. I'm not saying that we should jump straight to this. Like I said, it is the last line of defense when it comes to sleep training. But do you want to know the best part about all of this? You don't have to decide on which method is best for your family, because that's where I come in. As a pediatric sleep consultant, I am trained in assessing your individual situation, your parenting style, your sleep philosophy, your child's temperament, and the milestones that they've met. And I am going to formulate a customized plan specific for your family. And that does mean sometimes I'm blending some of these methods together. Sometimes we're starting at sleep training method number 1, where you are hands-on, parent present, and we are gradually moving towards number 3, where you are leaving and doing check-ins. It is my job to make you a customized plan to lay out step by step exactly what to do every single night, so that you are not only using a sleep training method that makes you feel good about your parenting choices, but also aligns with your child's development. Both of those things need to be taken into consideration when deciding on a sleep plan. The most important thing for me as a sleep consultant is that I am choosing a method and a strategy. I am curating this specific to your family, and that it is sustainable. It needs to be sustainable for the duration of sleep training so that you continue making progress. And I'll be there every step of the way to help support you and your spouse and your child as you're learning this big new skill. So there you have it, the main 4 sleep training strategies. If you're ready to have me assemble a custom sleep plan for you, then click the link in the description box down below. I will also pin it in the comment sections so you can book your consultation. Take out the guesswork. I will do all the work for you. I will explain it to you step by step, and we will get your baby and you sleeping through the night. Remember that you've got this, and I will be there for you every step of the way. Keep blooming. Mwah.